On the Cars project. Yeah, I'm on the Pixar project. This is like my what, third Pixar movie. I have Incredibles up on deck right now. I didn't really need to watch this movie to do this review. I've watched it multiple times, but you do it to keep your edge sharp. So, Cars. I'm not gonna do an in-depth review. I think it's pretty much. I I suck at reviews because I can go through all the details, but it takes me like 40, 50 minutes. I'm trying to make it where it's like 15 at worst. So Cars is a story that follows Lightning McQueen, a very arrogant, very young, rambunctious, but uberly talented with dripping with potential racer who is one of the hottest rising phenoms within the racing world. Now, I am not a NASCAR guy. I don't really care for NASCAR. I respect it to an extent. I think some of the NASCAR drivers can be a little crazy. Who was the dumbass that said that they could team up and beat up Muhammad Ali? Which one of these motherfuckers said that? Because I wanted to laugh my ass off when one of them said that. Like, there's some goofiness that goes on within it. Because I do respect them for being athletes, because you have to be to drive at these ridiculous conditions. You have to have some endurance. You have to have some bit of fucking mental fortitude. I just laugh at the idea of some of the shit that they say. I'm like, listen, dude, Muhammad Ali will piece your ass up and then drive your car right over you. I'm not even trying to be a dick about it. Like, stop. But I gotta find the quote, because it was in class one day I was doing this, and I almost busted out laughing, saying, "Get the fuck out of here." Um. Anyhow, not trying to be too much of a dick. Uh, I'm not a NASCAR guy, but I am a sports guy, so I understand the heart of sports, even though I have literally no heart right now, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm boycotting the Bears. The Hurricanes, I'm just gonna be honest with you, I'm expecting just a total collapse and disaster happening. I have no faith. This is what happens when you're a Hurricanes fan. You just have no faith in anything. That Wake Forest game is going to be so bad, in the sense of the shit the shit that's gonna happen with the miscues. And they'll still probably win by like 20-30, but you're gonna be looking going, really? It's not even worth it at this point. Gonna go into underdogs at SMU, but anyways, I have problems with that. But anyways, off the tangent into the review. Cars is a movie that you really had to be a sports lover to me to understand certain things. If you're not, that's why the people I can tell who don't appreciate Cars, how special it is, are going, oh, it's not that great of Pixar. Yeah, fuck you. Cars 3 is one I've always defended as well. Cars 2, I have no absolute care for. I refuse to review Cars 2. It is by far the most stupid sequel in the history of all animation. And I'm going to tell you why. Just call it a spinoff for Mater. That's it. And then actually have a sequel. Whatever, man. Like, Cars 3 is the real sequel to Cars. Okay? It's the real sequel. Sorry, mouthful of that shit. So it follows a young, rambunctious racer who is one of the hottest rising phenoms in the sport. Unfortunately, he is an arrogant little dick. So the movie kind of starts off, again, really off and running. I am speed. I am, yeah, whatever. So it just starts with it. Starts with that. I don't know what the song's playing. Is it Carrie Underwood that's playing? I gotta know the song, what's playing. For all I know, it could be Carrie fucking Underwood. I could be completely wrong, but it's fire. I gotta know who's singing that song. It starts with that. You get the sense of like how well they did this. If you're a NASCAR fan, you're gonna go, yeah, this is how it feels trying to like watch the start of these races. It's crazy. I don't know how people do it. It's like around a circle, around a circle. You got to be there live, in my opinion. It's got to be a live thing for me. I'd have to be there live to appreciate it. But like on TV, no. And the only reason, and I will take a quote back from Talladega Nights, the vibrations of the cars. Now, but I wouldn't be sitting there getting all horny over it. I'd be like respecting how epic it is. But anyhow, Lightning McQueen, he's the incumbent. Everyone thinks he could be the champion. He's the hottest rising rookie, and he believes in his abilities as well. Then you have the other two contenders. There is the King, and there is Chick Hicks. Chick Hicks is a giant chick dick. He's a piece of crap. All right, Chick Hicks is one of those characters that I wish they fleshed out a little more in this movie with a little more scenes, because I've never wanted a car to get totaled and then scrapped into a fucking wreckage bin of shit than this fucking dick. He's basically like the Bill Lambier, or whatever the fuck type of sports analogy you want to use for this douchebag. He's just a douche. I mean, there really is no word for it. And then, of course, you have the king, who is the elder statesman of NASCAR. I forget which one he's based on. I know that there's a big time reference in this movie. I always forget it. I always forget it. In fact, you know what? Let me just take a minute. Okay, okay, I figured this out. All right, how to do a little bit of like making sure, because I figured I thought I pretty much like I was like I know it's the I know it's the Rusty Wallace thing. I just wanted to make sure I was actually like making sure, because I was like I didn't want to be stupid. Um, this movie's phenomenal, like I said, with a lot of references. But dude, like, yeah, like I said, he's the king, and Lightning again being the incumbent young winner, he is, like I said, a little dick. So to start, the race goes on, and one thing I love about this movie is the way that they kind of like show the personalities of the cars. Like the personalities are really nice. Like they really flesh out some of these characters, even though they're cars. And you're like, you forget you're watching like the goofiest thing. It's kind of stupid in all actuality. What I love about this is like on the wallpaper, this kind of encapsulates the entire premise of like the character arcs. You see right behind Chick Hicks, if you can see on my wallpaper, I have it like slightly, you know, I have it like cropped so to fit on the phone, but you see behind Chick Hicks his attitude is completely and absolute envy. He is an envious racer. He has always been the third to second attraction when it comes to NASCAR in his career, because of, again, the king has always been first and always been the king of, I don't know what we call this. We call it NASCAR, or we just call it racing. We'll just call it Disney car. Not for real. NAS Disney. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. But in this world, racing is like football. So in this setting, he's always been number two to the king being number one. So it's even more infuriating when a rookie comes in and starts whooping your ass. The name of Lightning McQueen. Basically, the next coming is you have to walk in, and you're not even going to get your first, and that's embarrassing for someone like Chick Hicks, who's an insecure dick. So one thing I love about the way they did this movie is the sense of like of the personalities. You can get a sense of like the way characters, like some characters are. Because on you can see like the envy look on Chick Hicks. On the other side, you see the king. He's very focused, relaxed, and always on racing. At this point in his career, the king is going to compete as hard as he can, but he's not out here gonna fucking like lose if he doesn't win it. He's like, I respect the art of the game, and I'm at that point where he would like to see someone like Lightning win it, but he thinks Lightning is young and stupid, because Lightning is young and stupid. Lightning literally fires his crew chief in the beginning of this movie after he's the idiot. Well, actually, he didn't fire. They quit on him. My bad. He fired him before the race, apparently. And then the crew quit because he's an arrogant dick. He literally, because he's so arrogant, he thought, all I need is a fill up. I don't need my tires changed, which is just arrogance. You needed your tires changed. They're running thin. So he thinks he has this race, and he think he would. He had a large enough lead. He could have done this and still won this race pretty easily. But the arrogance is like, nah, I don't need it. I got this. So he goes down at the end of and near the end of the race, he literally pops the tires on his rear tires. So on the back nine, you pop your real tires because you're an arrogant dick. So he's trying to hobble. He sticks his tongue out like Jordan, and fucking somehow it's a photo finish, and it kind of starts the plot of this entire movie. One thing you notice with Lightning throughout this entire movie is his character arc is his impatience. That's like the biggest telltale difference that people do not talk about in this movie. It's impatience. I just finally noticed this watching this one more time. Lightning's patience changes through this movie. It's said through the movie, but it's really like apparent. It's the patience. He lacks patience. And this is with so many young athletes, whether it's football, basketball, racing, doesn't matter. Their lack of patience, their lack of understanding, their lack of seeing things through. An example, like football. I'm not going to bring up the Caleb Williams shit, but let's bring up the Caleb Williams shit, even though it's going to be more painful. I have faith in the kid, but Jesus Lord, I don't have faith in the Bears. He will, like Caleb will rush through a read rather than wait it through and see things through the right way. There are quarterbacks that will try and throw into double coverage because they think they can beat through a read instead of just taking a check down and being patient. That's what Lightning basically is in a sense. He's impatient. Couldn't wait patiently to get his tires just changed real quick. Boom, boom, go. No, he's impatient. He has to win it now. He needs to get to He needs to get to California for this 3-way race between the other 2 point leaders. Okay, let's go push your goddamn in this movie you have big Mack trucks that carry the racers. Whatever. Mack. His name is actually Mack. No fucking joke. He's in charge of he's the big truck carrying the trailer for Lightning. And Lightning pushed him too hard. That's why Mac was too sleepy and got, bamboozled by 3 fucking Fast and Furious standing characters. Those cars are sick as fuck, by the way. I don't care what anyone tells me. Those cars are badass. But they're dicks. And basically that's why Lightning got let out of the trailer because Mac freaking fell asleep at the wheel, basically. With all the movement around, the door switch accidentally opened. So Lightning gets lost in Radiator Springs, basically. And that's how this all really goes down. But again, this is all due to Lightning's impatience. Why you're not the Piston Cup champ? It's called the Piston Cup. Where you're not the Piston Cup holder. Why you're now in Radiator Springs because you're impatient. So then, again, due to impatience, he wants to get the hell out of there quickly without realizing that he just destroyed the town in his complete freak out because he was, trying to drive through Radiator Springs without headlights. Yes. He got chased by the sheriff. The sheriff shoots at him because I don't know how the hell he had a gun. I don't even know the logical conclusion to this shit. Gets in, destroys the road in Radiator Springs, and then has to get hauled into court. The judge, Doc, rolls in, and you hear him, he starts saying, I want this guy buried into the goddamn jail. He's basically about to give him the book. And then all of a sudden, he takes a one look at Lightning and says, that's a racer. And he's like, I want him out of here. You can get a sense he does not like racers for some reason. Okay. Lightning, being impatient, doesn't understand who the hell he's talking to. And again, let me make this very clear. A lot of things could have changed his perspective if he was not impatient and didn't look things through. He didn't look at Doc well enough. He didn't sit there and take a minute to like think and actually understand and actually put some things together. That's why he's in the space that he's in. He is very, very arrogant and very impatient. Patience, people. Patience in everything. I've learned this lesson as well. I've learned patience with a lot of things in my life. Believe me when I tell you this. He's impatient. So then you get it again. You get in the sense of this. You're getting what I'm saying, right? He's very impatient. He then gets put in the, Then Sally the Porsche comes in. Yes, Sally the Porsche. You guys watch the movie, so if I'm reviewing this, I'm kind of speed running because you guys already know. He thinks that's his lawyer because Lightning is an arrogant dick, and he thinks his freaking selfish douchebag agent. Freaking, by the way, agents are all like this. They're fucking scum. They're just a bunch of blood-sucking leeches, in my opinion. He thought his agent sent a lawyer. Problem is, his agent has no idea where the fuck he is. No one does. No one even knows he's missing yet. So anyhow, Lightning, thinking he's gonna get off scot-free because he's like, listen, the case is already done here, sweetheart. After he done flirted with freaking Sally, and Sally said, oh, really? You think so, huh? Sally persuades Doc to basically make him fix the road. And Lightning is like, what the fuck? That's bullshit. Lightning basically is, So then Lightning has like one last ditch effort. He tries to escape. The minute that, what's it called? That Mater tries to hook Lightning up to the freaking, what's it called? What's it called? I'm trying to think. Lightning up to the, fuck. Oh shit, Lightning up to the fucking, I don't know what you call the fucking thing, the tar machine. Lightning bolts. Like a fucking bolt of lightning. Gone. I mean, his name is Lightning, I know. But He bolts out of there. Like the fucking Flash. Bang. Again, I know, lightning bolt. Fuck you. So he starts busting. He thinks he's out of there. All right, bye-bye Radiator Springs. I'm going to go to Cali. One unfortunate issue. They, not being completely fucking stupid, siphoned his gas. Tow him back. So now he starts to try and do the road. He does the road like a fucking absolute pile of dog shit. It's garbage. And the road's all choppy, fucked up, and just completely undrivable. So but Lightning's like, listen, I did the road. Fuck you. I'm out of here. Well, unfortunately, that's not how that's going to go for them. No, fuck that. No, you're going to fit here and do the road. Problem is, Lightning's like, fuck that shit. No, I don't want to do it. So there's an impasse. A race had to be happening on a race that's going to need to be needed to be happening. I'm trying not to go through this movie again. I hate when I do this in reviews. Well, again, there's so much of this movie that, again, where there's just Lightning's impatience. Again. And I love the development that slowly happens. So, again, with the race that happens with him and Doc, Lightning can't drift on dirt because Lightning is a fucking race car that is highly engineered on, of course, asphalt. So he's not going to understand off-road racing in any fucking sense. This is a fucking athletic sports car, if you will, in that type of sense. He's not going to get it, right? This is for off-road cars, you know? And most NASCAR drivers wouldn't drift with their NASCAR. You're not going to do that in a race. These cars are not made for that. They're made for straight line speed. They're engineered for straight line speed and endurance. So, he's not going to know this. So, sorry, I got just a tiny bit congested. So, if I sound a little off, my bad. So, what happens is, if I could rip this shit out of my mouth, I would. I can't stand this shit, by the way. So, what happens is, Lightning gets off to a fast start. Doc just sits there. Because Doc knows this nigga's going to fucking sit there and bust his ass. Lightning proceeds to sit there and bust his ass into a cactus. Into a cactus patch. Realize he can't drift. So, Lightning has to spend time now, after losing the bet, because he can't continue. What's it called? He had to chip the road. He had to unchip the road of the tar asphalt that he made that was undrivable. So eventually he does the road right. But while he's snooping through the town trying to get to know the locals or whatever, because eventually he does start to open up and does start to, of course, slowly start talking to people. But, you know, and this is what starts to flip his perspective. Something like this will flip a young man's perspective and go, you know, maybe I do need to slow down just a tiny bit, you know? Because beforehand, Lightning's trying to learn how to drift because his work ethic is like, how do I not know how to do this? He's trying to learn how to drift on dirt road. Doc simply comes up and tells him, you gotta go, because, by the way, if you know drifting, you gotta actually go the opposite direction to kind of counterweight your wheels. You know what I mean? You gotta it's countering the momentum. That's all it is. So when you do a drift, you turn, if you're gonna, like, for an example, go right, you turn right, but you slant left. Turn right, you slant left to keep the drift going with the momentum. Lightning doesn't really get that, so Doc tells him, if you want to go right, you got to go left. Now, you could have explained it a little better because it's a momentum thing, but whatever, that's just okay. I'm a nitpicky dick. So, Lightning, being an absolute fucking, again, pretentious little dick, goes, right to go left. Yeah, fuck out of here. And he blows him off. He's like, this is some stupid old man car. Who gives a fuck what he thinks? And he doesn't know. He doesn't take 5 seconds to realize you're talking to a legend. Until he finds his way into a barn. He goes into the barn. He finds 3 piston cups. 3. He finds a picture of the Hudson Hornet, a legend in the racing scene, one of the forefathers of racing. And suddenly perspective flips for Lightning. Lightning's like, you're a legend. Why are you here? Doc does not like Lightning. And the reason Doc doesn't like Lightning has nothing to do with Lightning McQueen. And it gets developed later on through the third movie. And it's why you cry in a certain scene. It's why there's a really really emotional, touching scene. Not only to honor the voice actor, but just the character itself. With the way this all started, Doc doesn't dislike lightning. Doc dislikes racing in what it represents, and lightning represents everything he hates about racing, which is seeing a young buck come in that the racing world wouldn't hesitate to fucking leave behind if he got hurt. Wouldn't hesitate to treat like shit if he got hurt. And Lightning doesn't get it yet. He doesn't understand it yet. He doesn't understand what that means. He's young. He's young and cocky. So he's like, why would you give up? Why would you? And Doc's like, I didn't give up, motherfucker. Because there's another later scene where he kind of says that after he sees like Doc going out on the dirt road, kind of showing off his stuff, saying, yeah, I still got it. And he's like, I didn't give up. They gave up on me. I had years left, but they gave up on me and left me behind. And that's why he fell out of love with racing, because they killed it for him. You know, and I understand losing love for sports sometimes. It gets hard. Believe me, I know. So that scene hits me hard because I understand what it is to fall out of love with something that is pretty much your religion. I understand. Believe me when I tell you how much I understand that. So he doesn't hate lightning. He hates what lightning represents. But lightning, he's not even giving a chance to the kid to actually prove him wrong. He just preconceived his notions on him. Stuck in his old ways. But the rest of town starts to slowly like the kid. Because Lightning is actually trying to relate now. The problem with Lightning McQueen was never the fact that he was inherently a dick. Lightning wasn't the problem. Lightning's entire life was the problem. Lightning never had a real life because he was just bred to be a race car since he was born, I guess. He ever had no real friends. He thought his friend could be his agent. You know, he thought his agent could be a friend. No, agents are not your friend. They're blood-sucking leeches who should be fucking completely and absolutely barred from everything. They don't care about you. They care about the money. They're fucking disgusting. Yeah, I hate agents. Fuck you. But for real, that's all they care about. They're blood-sucking leeches. So he doesn't have a real friend. Mac is the closest thing he has to a friend, but he doesn't appreciate Mac enough. He doesn't appreciate his sponsor, Rusty's, that gave him his start because he wants to go on to Dynaco. He's looking bigger. His whole life, he doesn't get it yet because he's only been learning to try and win everything and try and be the best and also try and be living the high life. He doesn't understand the other side of life. A lot of athletes don't. That's what makes this such a special story. You get to teach an upcoming stud racer with all the talent in the world to be one of the greatest racers in the history of the sport humility. It's a phenomenal story for that reason. So Lightning, because of this entire ordeal, is figuring out what life can be like after racing. Life can be like when you actually appreciate it. I know, sounds sappy, but fuck you. It's fucking beautiful to me. So, throughout all of that, Lightning is just, he's starting to slowly acclimate. He has a big crush on Sally. You see it. She and Lightning take a drive throughout the scenery. And right here, you realize that Sally was once like Lightning. A hotshot lawyer from Cali that tried to race through Radiator Springs, but got stuck along the way and never left because she fell in love with life. She never felt quite at home as a lawyer because it's just a high a high octane lifestyle that isn't really fun. You don't feel right. Lightning relates. It all starts to, and that's when it really starts to click with them. Fucking around with Mater as well. You see that Lightning's having fun for once in his life. You see that Lightning actually gives a shit about something other than himself. You see that Lightning has friends. I mean, he's fucking friends with Mater, for fuck's sake. That means something. And the best part I like about Lightning is Lightning never stabbed him in the back. Usually in these Pixar films, the main character might make a bad mistake and screw over the protagonist with him by accident. It happens in a lot of Pixar movies. Lightning never did that. It wasn't Lightning that was the one that kind of disappointed the town. It was Doc. So, kind of in a big act, Lightning, they thought Lightning left. The road was finished, the day after he argues with Doc, and Doc says, just finish the damn road and get the fuck out of here. Because Doc, again, has his preconceived notions. He doesn't think Lightning will ever change. Lightning stuck behind, like they thought he all left and they were all sad because they liked that kid. But Mater, and then you see like Lightning come behind Mater, and Mater just simply explains to Lightning why everyone's sad and why the fire truck went off crying, and he goes, "Oh, he's just sad that you went off and you need this and need that." I'm sorry, I can't stand Larry the Cable Guy, guys. I don't. Good Lord, you see why I hate Cars 2. Anyhow, and he goes, "Oh, Lightning's right here." Like, yeah, dumbass, we know. So, Lightning basically says, "You know what? I'm gonna try out all the shops around here because everyone in Radiator Springs has a shop or a town or something they're selling." Because that's the whole point of this, to revitalize this dead town that was once teeming with life until they built a fucking interstate highway to destroy it. There are a lot of towns like this in America, by the way. Anyways, not to get on a soapbox. He goes and tries out like every fucking shop. I love Guido and Luigi, by the way. Luigi and Guido are like the goats of this movie. He goes in and he says, "Send me with your best blackball tires." Luigi pulls that shit down, saying, "You don't know what the fuck you want. Shut up." This is like saying, "Hey man, give me your best black Air Forces." Nah, motherfucker. You getting like the Jordan 11s, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. They go in, they give him white wall tires, looking sick as fuck. Then he gets a paint job from Ramon, sick as fuck. Then he gets a bunch of like cannabis drink, whatever, man. From yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. You start to see the town's is getting revitalized. The road looks beautiful. They start to put the lights up, and you see everyone's happy, jolly. Like there's life in the city, and Lightning did that. Lightning brought something to the city, and that was this town, and that was important. It gave everyone purpose. And then he was discovered by his race team. Doc called the race crew, like everyone, the news media, everyone. He called them, and Lightning got picked up, and Lightning went back, and Lightning went to Cali in a media storm. He didn't even want to. He wanted to say goodbye to everyone. He didn't want to do this shit. He didn't want to sit there and leave like that, because he was gonna still leave. He still had to, but he wanted to do it the proper way. Doc took that away from everyone, and it's very so encapsulated about how dark how kind of sad this scene is, because everyone's kind of sad. They're like, you didn't get to say goodbye to him. You lose him. And all the business you thought you were going to get from the news media, they all just leave because they all care about just about Lightning. And throughout all that, Mater says, "I didn't get to say goodbye." You see it's revealed that he's talking to that Doc's talking to the news reporter, so he called them. His eyes like, "You called them?" And Doc's like, "This is better for everyone." And then she says, "Better for everyone or better for you?" At the end of the day, this was, and this is what kind of I think drove like the final act of the scene that was needed for Doc, saying, now you've become no better than the fucking demon that you thought was brought into this town. You're now the problem in this town because you just kind of fucked everyone over with that shit that didn't need to be done. It was unnecessary because of your preconceived notions. Everyone liked that kid. You were the only one that just couldn't see it. So we go to the race. Lightning's just not in it, bro. Clearly not in it. He's still thinking about Sally. He's just not thinking about it, because racing, he's just thinking like, maybe racing's just not for me right now. And he even had Mac as his crew his crew chief. He even said like, "Hey, thanks Mac for being my crew." You see the gratitude. You see finally Lightning's changed. He's grown up. The problem is he doesn't know if his mentality's in it for this race. Yeah, you're not a cocky little shit anymore, but now your mentality's kind of drained because you're thinking about, damn, I just saw the other side of life and I kind of want to go back. And he's not seeing it. But and this part kind of gets you really like ready to go. He's a lap behind, dude, because of all this shit. He's a lap behind, and he kind of spills out in the freaking dirt road, and he's telling Mac, I don't got it. Max like answers one time with some shit, and then next thing you hear is, "I didn't come all this fucking way to see you quit." That's the freaking Hudson Hornet, not Doc, the Hudson Hornet, paint job and all that. And again, this comes right into, I'm sorry if I'm getting a little emotional again because I'm thinking about the fucking Cars 3 scene, because this leads right into what they were. Cars 3 fucking blows for me because it's so well written, but the ending was kind of shit, but I've learned to appreciate the ending for what it was. Because for me, it was a nice little way to honor Doc and of course the voice actor. That was why I appreciated it more. When I was a little younger, I hated the ending because I was like, I want to see Lightning go off in the sunset with a title. Fuck is this shit? But now that I look back as more of an adult, I appreciate the writing even more and more. And scenes like that make me a little emotional because of the whole message. I'll talk about that in the Cars 3 review. I might just pivot tonight and just watch Cars 3. But what really gets me here is the fact that, he's in full gear. He's out with the world to see. He's like, I'm here. And he's crew chiefing Lightning McQueen. That right there is badass. But also, Lightning gets that newfound confidence because you realize the entire town's here to support him. And now, the one guy that you wanted to kind of prove wrong is here believing in you. So now, boom. So basically, there's a newfound. This is like he's like a kind of a sick ass race because he catches up and beats that lap and goes supersonic basically and just goes right into it. And then he's now neck and neck with the other two, with the King and douchebag Chick Hicks, who's just a complete loser of a fucking car being, whatever I'm gonna call him. So he's going at it, and Chick Hicks is in full dirty ass racer display. First, he pops Lightning's tires. I don't know how the fuck he did this shit. Now, granted, there is no real pit crew for Lightning. He doesn't need one. He has Guido. There is not anything on this goddamn fucking earth as fast as Guido when it comes to changing a tire. And they're making fun of the little man. They're making fun of him, saying, what you gonna do that little wrench in? They're making fun of him. And Guido's like the whole fight, the whole box they has. But Luigi's like, no. You will get your chance to smoke them bitches. You hear Doc go to Guido, it's time. And you're like, oh, shit's about to get, because you know what Guido's capable of. The minute Lightning goes in there and they're at the setup, you just see gone. And Lightning just busts out in the blink of an eye. And then you just see all the face guards just go down for the freaking pit crew for like Chick Hicks and they're like, what? And like, yeah, you fucked around. Yeah, Fafo motherfucker, you fucked around and found out. That little fucker knew what he was doing. So Lightning gets out there real quick and he beats the pace lap, so he's not behind the lap. And this race is ready to go again. And it comes down to the wire. Lightning's about to win this race, dude. Like he's gonna outrace Chick Hicks. Because Chick Hicks tries to take him down, and Lightning learned to drift mid-race. This is the most baddest scene ever. He knocks him into the dirt, but Lightning literally, again, counterbalance. To go right, you gotta turn left. To go left, you gotta turn right. So he hits him. And Lightning turns the other way and counterbalances his weight to drift and drifts beautifully back into the asphalt and is basically right in it still and blows by Chick Hicks' sorry ass. And then he's gonna win this shit. Goes right past both of them. Chick Hicks is in third place, and it looks like it's gonna be Lightning's gonna take the title and become the new guy. He's going to take the torch away from the King. And the King's have to go in second and go out to a gracious finish. And then Chick Hicks says, I'm done coming in second to you. Because the envy of having to come in second to this guy another time for your career, instead of being gracious, instead of having respect for the game, you are such an envious, sorry-ass loser. You got to try and kill this dude. Because that's what he's trying to do, basically. He hits the rear tail end of the King, and probably one of the best references, man. Like I said, one of the best references. Let me show you guys.
Rusty, and go right out the picture, and it looks, there he is. Earnhardt right up on the back bumper of Rusty, and he does touch it. That's why round it goes.
I guess Chick Hicks is based on Dale Earnhardt, which
that's why he was so concerned, because he touched Rusty Wallace.
Didn't it have a Dale Earnhardt
situation? It looks like.
And the car overturns about 6 or 7 times.
Actually, they did. They actually had a Dale Earnhardt character in Cars with an epic reference. That's hilarious to me. Anyhow, that's what that's based on. The Rusty Wallace crash. It's a very well done scene because Lightning's not to win this whole thing. Lightning just stops. Now, a lot of people ask this question of why didn't Lightning just win and then go back and do what he did? Let me explain. So Lightning stops. Chick Hicks wins the Piston Cup. He's going all crazy, like, what? I'm like, a real sportsman would be like, why did you just stop and let me win? But no, Chick Hicks is not an honorable winner of any kind. Lightning backs up because he has the faith. He's like, nah, this ain't right. None of this shit was right. None of this is right. And you see the biggest smile on Doc's face. On Doc Hudson's face, because he realizes this kid really does understand. Like, this kid actually is special. Because he didn't just go for the cut. He went for the love of the game. That's respect. He goes in and he pushes Doc to the finish line. You know, to win his last race. To finish his last race. He came in third. He went from the Piston Cup to third place. And even Doc's like, you know, he just gave up the Piston Cup, right? And he goes, yeah, like an old grumpy race car told me. It's just an empty cup. So at the end of the day, it's just more than racing. So that scene gets me a little bit because it's the respect of the game. And I love the way they did that to teach that valuable lesson. Now, everyone asks, why didn't he just win the cup and then do that? It'd be illegal. He can't win the race, go back and push him. That would be an illegal finish. And it's a symbolism. I'm not going to win a race when this absolute blasphemous bullshit went down, when I could make a statement saying, no, this isn't right. That shit like this isn't right. Respect for legends in the game matters. And also, like Doc never got to finish his story. He's saying, I'm not going to let that happen to King. So you got to understand there's a lot of facets to that, but that's why Lightning didn't finish. He stopped right short. That's symbolic. This is a legendary winner, dude. This is a legend in the game. Lightning's going to go on to win multiple cups. So it's the lesson of, listen, I'm going to go on to win what I win, but it's not going to come from me now. And like I said, this again falls to patience. This is basically saying, I'm going to win what I'm going to win. I know it. I'm going to win everything that I want to win. I have patience in my career. I know my time will come. But I'm not going to sit here and rush it just because and disrespect the game because I need this cup now. I have patience. That's the lesson here. Good things to come to those who wait. And that's a phenomenal lesson. And the way it ended is beautiful. Probably one of my favorite. That's why it holds a very sentimental value in my heart, that this series. A lot of people don't like it as much as others. That is fine. Again, if you're not a real big sports buff and don't love the love of, have the love for sports like I do, I get it. But for me, I'm not even an NASCAR fan, but I understand sports ethics and I love the way they did this. This was beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. At the end, he goes to Dynaco. Dynaco comes to him and they offer him the contract because at the end of the day, PR-wise, they're not going to offer to Chick Hicks because Chick Hicks is a dirty piece of shit that just on live television tried to murder someone. That's A. B. Lightning is great PR. I'm looking from the PR standpoint. He's great PR because A, you just made a phenomenal statement. You were going to win the cup anyways. You ran a phenomenal race, so you're going to win the cup anyhow. You're the next incumbent. Everyone knows it. You let this other idiot win, but they know he's the next coming. He's basically the next coming in the sport. So, yeah, and also you just gave respect to a legend by helping him cross the finish line. That right there is why they're going to offer him the spot. It's called. it's basically just it's respect, but it's also it's good marketing too. Come on, the story they can run with this is amazing. Lightning turns them down. They're everything. Lightning turned them down. Reference back to the beginning of the movie, where Mac parks the trailer near their tent, the tent for Rusty's, his sponsor, the sponsor that gave him the start. Now understand, at the beginning, Lightning is an arrogant young, hotshot little asshole who just wants what he wants selfishly. He wants Dynaco, he wants the blue, he wants it all. So he goes in and has to do his little rendition of the Rusty's commercial with all those rusty cars, and he hates rusty cars. He hates it all. He hates his fan base because he's like, ugh, this is what This is my following ill. And then they go, well, can't wait. We can't wait for another great year next year. And Lightning goes, after, the trailer closes, he goes, not on your life. He turns him down, Dinoco, at the end of all this. And he goes, Rusty's gave me my start. I got to show them loyalty. Patience and loyalty now. Basically, you see now Lightning's develop loyalty to who gave him the start. That's, again, phenomenal writing. When I tell you this movie has a special place for me, this is why. Shit like that means something to me. Loyalty is always been taken for granted in my life from a lot of people. But I love when I see it written well. Sorry. God damn this fucking... Ugh. Like, I'm 95% done with this shit. Okay? But anyhow, that's kind of like the telltale, like... Sorry, what was I going to say? Like, that right there, great writing. Then then they end the movie. He goes, Dinoco guy, I forget his name, but the Dinoco owner goes, well, you let me know if you need anything. Because at the end of the day, he feels like, yeah, I owe you because you just saved you freaking gave respect to like one of the biggest golden boys of my brand ever. And I'll always have respect for you. You're part of the family. Like, no joke, that scene kind of gets me a little bit because of the way, there's the respect thing. But even then, sorry. He asked for a favor. Because if you actually hearken to this movie again, like hearken back to something, all freaking Mater ever wanted to do was fly in a goddamn helicopter. Dinoco has helicopters. Big blue one. So what does Lightning ask for as a favor? Mater gets to fly in a helicopter. Made me have a big smile on my face because that means that Lightning, really does. He has changed. That's his friend. He says he even called him at the end of the movie. That's his best friend. That's really cool. So at the end of it, he's sitting with Sally, all this stuff. He goes, that's my best friend. What are you going to do? He's saying he's going to set up his racing headquarters here in Radiator Springs, which drives traffic through Radiator Springs. All the media, all of it. It's going to make it. It's going to make Radiator Springs a tourist attraction, and the fact that Lightning is very well known in the racing community. He also has friends with high priced cars. This scene kind of gets me. He recommended like for Ferraris to get tires at Luigi's. Well, Luigi faints, tips over on the side when he sees one. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this." And who else? I forgot the little blue one's name. The ADHD is terrible because you literally forget names that you were just talking about. Wow, I just blanked. Wow, I'm forgetting the name. Seriously, you will forget something you just talked about. Fucking hey! I'm not going to say Mario because we all know I'm not going to say no goddamn Mario. Luigi. It's Luigi and... Oh, fuck. Not Pietro, right? Anyways, they both faint because of fucking... Because first, actually, it's funny because the blue one only speaks legit Italian. He doesn't speak any real thing in English. Luigi's the only one that really speaks English and Italian. He faints. And then the Ferrari... I think they're basing off of Michael Andrade. No joke. I think they're making him off of Michael Andrade. No joke. Like, I'm not playing. I think... For all I know, I think Michael Andrade actually sat there and voiced this shit. He then speaks full Italian... And little guy just falls over like, dung, because he's like, holy shit. At the end of it, you kind of see, like I said, what's it called? Like Radiator Springs is revitalized. Lightning did what he promised he was going to do. He's going to bring life back to that town. It's a nice little ending, and it kind of teaches you again about growing up and knowing patience and respecting your elders, having loyalty, and basically being a better person. That's why Cars holds a special place in my heart, Sorry, I got a little bit emotional. Cars 3, I was thinking about. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to have to cover that shit. Dude, I start, like, legit crying when they do the dock thing. That shit fucking sucked. That shit sucked, okay? Because I'm not expecting it in the movie. I'm not. Like, I should have been, but I was not expecting the way they did it, and the way they delivered that scene was fucking impeccable. Because it still hinted at some of Lightning's immaturity and some of the things he still needs to kind of learn. Even as an older racer, he still needed to learn certain lessons. And as someone who loves this series, it was a great way to do this. And I swear to God, no, I'm not on board with Cars 4. I hate it. I don't want it. I don't need it. There should not be a Cars 4. We ended the series. You ended it on a very nice note. We don't need another one. Please don't do... Oh, God, they're going to kill it. All right, bye. I said enough.